during the debate, coronavirus, of course, obviously came up, especially when you consider that 220,000 Americans have died during this pandemic due to Donald Trump's lack of leadership, his lack of empathy, his unwillingness to do anything effective in response to the pandemic. And so Donald Trump was confronted with the fact that he's been pressuring schools to open prematurely without social distancing, without masks, without the proper safety precautions. And Biden really did have a strong line here. So I want to play that moment from the debate. Take a look.
We ought to be able to walk and chew gum at the same time. We ought to be able to safely open, but would they need resources to open? You need to be able to, for example, if you're going to open a business, have social distancing within the business. You need to have, if you have a restaurant, you need to have plexiglass dividers so people cannot infect one another. You need to be in a position where you can take testing rapidly and know whether a person is in fact infected. You need to be able to trace. You need to be able to provide all the resources that are needed to do this. And that is not inconsistent with saying that what we're going to make sure that we open safely. And by the way, all you teachers out there, not that many of you are going to die, so don't worry about it. Come on.
That was a pretty strong moment. Go ahead, Michael.
No, I wasn't going to say that. I was listening to you guys react to that, and I think I did the exact same thing. There were some bites that Biden took tonight, which I thought was interesting. Again, we're dissecting something that I don't think in the long run matters, but for the theater of it and what Joe Biden, it does speak to me that Joe Biden has a total command of what's going on at this point with this race and the person he's running against. And I have to say that I think Kamala Harris in the first debate in Miami did Joe Biden the biggest favor, and it helped him in the Democratic nominating process, and it helps him now. And it goes to a little bit of what you were talking about before, Anna, which is that, and I've said this before, nobody's really ever been mean to Joe Biden. Everybody likes Joe Biden, right? Kamala Harris surprised him. I think he was totally shocked by what happened at that debate, and it made him realize, okay, this is what's going to happen to me now for a year and a half if I continue this long in this race, as I thought he would at that time. And I think that the more that this went on, the better he was. And I'm sure you both watched, or you all, the three of you watched the Sanders-Biden debate, which was the last debate. It was just the two of them, and it was more symbolic for Senator Sanders because it was pretty much a fait accompli that Biden would win the nomination, and Biden was better there, and even in taking criticism. So I think when he goes against Donald Trump, he does in large part have Kamala Harris to thank for what happened at the very beginning of this race, because he's better at taking it than he was, because nobody had ever given it to him. He sailed to re-election in Delaware. He was the vice president. It didn't really matter. He wasn't a terrific debater against Sarah Palin or Paul Ryan. He was fine, but I think that it made him better, and I think you're seeing that tonight with things like what we just played.
He really was genuinely shocked when Kamala Harris responded with, "I was that little girl," during that debate. And yeah, Cenk talks about that all the time, and I think it's hilarious. But yeah, it's shocking that he was shocked, but he was shocked.
Right, yeah, he was, and people have just he's always been the guy that people like. You don't have to love him, you could roll your eyes at him, which people do, but people kind of like him. And here's someone was being mean to Joe Biden. What? That's never happened before, and I think it helped.
The part that stood out in that section, that was at the very beginning of the debate, and Joe Biden really came out the strongest and the hardest at that point. And I think that probably was the point where we could say he won the debate, because I think in the last two debates with Kamala and Mike Pence, and in the first debate, he didn't really get to nail. They didn't get to really nail Donald Trump to the wall about his responsibility for COVID-19. And so hearing Joe Biden just be relentless, not letting up. And then I know he got the remark in at the end. And I think this is important, even though he said it sarcastically, it's critically important to say that Donald Trump is actually saying that not too many of you are going to die. The next follow-up question really should be, will that be you? Right? It really matters to the one or two. If it's 10, if it's 100, it matters to them. And that's what Biden was trying to capture with that last sentence. And that's where I think he actually won the debate in the first 10, 20 minutes of it.
No question. And every minute that Donald Trump is talking about COVID is a bad minute for Donald Trump. So I think to stretch that out as long as Biden was able to is important too.
Yeah, at one point Biden had a great line, and it probably summarizes this whole contest better than anything else. He said, look, out there, you guys know me and you know him. You know my character and you know his character. Who do you want in there? And that's no contest. I gotta say, even for a healthy chunk of Trump voters, they know the real answer to that. They just do. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.